Okay, we're in Volume 8 of the Bible story by Arthur S Maxwell. Okay. We are at Part 4, Story 7, Radio and Television Foreseen. So it says. Okay. As Jesus talked with his disciples about his return, he gave them one another signs that could be the most important of all. This is the gospel of the kingdom, he said, shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and this shall the end come. This gospel of the kingdom is, of course, the good news about his plans for the future of this world and the people who live on it. It includes the story of his coming from heaven to live among men, the story of his suffering and his death, the story of his resurrection and his ascension, the story of his coming again in glory to set up his kingdom of love and restore all that was lost in Eden. When this beautiful gospel has been preached in all the world, and everybody in all the nations had had a has had a choice to hear it, then shall the end come. Jesus did not say that all the people who hear the gospel will become Christians. No, what he said was that this gospel would be preached as a witness unto all nations. People everywhere would hear it, make up their minds whether they wanted to belong to his kingdom of love. When he stopped to think about it, this was a very wonderful prophecy Jesus made. In those days, there was but one great empire in the world, and that was Rome. Nobody had ever heard of the United States, or France, or Germany, or Russia. Well, they called France, Germany, and Russia, they mainly called it Gaul. Because I know Germany was Gaul. And I know some of France was Gaul. And of course, Russia would be, probably be Gaul too. So basically, everything up north of Italy was Gaul. Okay, but they knew about everybody. Okay, England not even was not even yet invaded by the Romans army. No, he got his time wrong. England was actually invaded by by Julius Caesar, not Augusta. Okay, so it was actually did go through England. I hate to correct people, but okay. China, India, and Africa were lands of mystery to most of the people of Palestine. Kinda, but they still had the traveling people would come through. Yet the Prince of Prophets dared not to say that the glorious news about his kingdom would be carried to all ends of the earth and to every nation yet unborn. Looking down the centuries, he saw them all, with all their language, customs, and multicolored flags. Yeah, he probably did. Excuse me. Excuse me again. All these, he said, shall hear my gospel, and then shall the end come. Yeah. He must have known that this would mean translating. Okay, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 12 in this picture. Jesus talking to his disciples right here. And 6 out of the 12 that, is supposed to represent all of them. Okay, let's go back to it. He must have known that this would mean translating his message into many different tongues, but that didn't mean trouble. But it did not trouble him. It would be done, and it has been done. Portions of the Bible have been translated into more than 1,100 languages. More now. I think they even got one that's in uh, basic or zeros and ones. I think there is one. I think I heard of it once. Okay, Jesus no must have known too that news that new ways and meanings of spreading his message would be found so that all the millions of people upon the earth might hear it. It could be that he saw the invitation of the address public public address system, which means it is possible for a preacher to be heard up tens of thousands into the largest halls and stadiums. Perhaps he saw the coming of radio, probably the internet too, and let's get back to the story, which carries the human voice to millions in many countries at once. Maybe he saw the marvel of television, whereby one of his messengers can step into hundreds of millions of homes at the same time to tell the story of his love. Not long ago, as I was entering a room on a top floor of a tall hotel in Miami, Florida, suddenly from the next room came a familiar strain of lift up the familiar strains of lift up the trumpet and loud let it ring. Jesus is coming again. It was the theme song of a famous religious broadcast. I had heard it before in my car radio while crossing the Arizona desert, the Rockies, the Cascades, and other out-of-the-way places. Millions of other Millions of others listen to it every week, not only in America but around the world, over the most powerful radio stations on earth, the beautiful music, the tender voices, all aglow with the love of Jesus, leaping leaping the highest mountain, the distant the densest jungle, and the most dangerous river to touch the hearts of people in the most distant places on earth, in crowded cities, little known villages, and lonely farmhouses. They tell the same sweet story of the loving and forgiving Savior. Today was never Today, as never before, since Jesus gave his wonderful prophecy, this gospel of the kingdom is being preached as a witness unto all nations. How many people have not heard it or read it? Yet nobody knows. But the machinery is all here for a quick work to be done, much sooner than all of us can imagine. Jesus must say, "Let the task is finished, and then shall the end come." And then it's Hutchinson, and it's got different little techniques. It's got a broadcasting tower, airplane, the group that he was talking about, a car radio, sitting in home listening, uh, a jungle in South America. Yeah, looks like South America. Then a group in China, and a group in South Africa, and then another Polynesia, and then a boat, and then a Bible on the top. And I said them all, but that's what it looks like. But we got it better. We got it better now. We got podcast, streaming service, the internet, Google it. I mean, we got a lot more that you can always find someone who will teach you and preach you, or teach you and give you these things. Okay, well, that was part 4, story 7. So it's time for the my little break. So I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to finish this out. And we'll be right back